Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name is Lumin and today we are having a look at Voyagers of Nera. Voyagers of Nera is a cooperative survival crafting game where you must survive a magical ocean world brimming with lost spirits and deadly monsters. Sail to distant islands, build beautiful villages and surf across the waves with up to 10 players. Obviously before doing all of that, you can create and customize your own character, which is why we are here. We had a look at a demo of this. Now it's time for early access. Things have been polished up a little bit, and I assume we are moving closer to their final vision for this. So I'm pretty keen. Let's jump in. If you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover, you can find some links below. You can also find timestamps down there, and along with those, you can find my links, my coffee page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest if you want to support me and what I do. In this video, we are specifically going to look at the male customization, the female customization, and then we'll random on both, I suppose. Or maybe we'll do male, then randomize, then female, then randomize. It works. We'll see. I will mention, however, here at the start that there used to be an outfit section. It was right here with the character creation and customization. That is in the game now. The outfits and stuff, you got to actually go in there. You got to find them. You got to craft them, create them for yourself. But it's got a full system where you can change the colors of the outfits and all that. And it's pretty cool. So just know that there's a lot more waiting for you in the game. Alright. Now, as we get started, body type is your first choice. There's a male body type, a female body type. Currently, there is no actual customization of the body, which is a bit of a pity. It would be cool if we had perhaps just, you know, a couple of options for each of them, like male with a few options and female with a few options. You don't need to give full control of the bodies, but I will also again just say that's not really, in my opinion, a deal breaker. Sometimes it's fine just having two body types and leaving it at that. It's cool. It's alright. Face. And this is us jumping into the male customization. There are 3 different faces to pick from here. The faces give you a selection of skin tones that come along with them. So they are just basically the serving suggestions for this face. You pick the one you like and you go. You will notice that they are different. We have a balanced number of tones here with like sort of a few lighter ones, a few darker ones. Then in the middle one over here, we've got more on the light side. And then the final one has more on the dark side. And you can go darker still on this one. It's a good selection, and I kind of like the idea of locking a face to a certain tone, because obviously the artists who made these faces, they had a vision in mind, and this adheres to that. When you've picked the face you like, you can go to the eye color over here. I remember mentioning the fact that the eye colors are not all that visible, especially on the male characters. I stick with that. They're still not all that visible. It's mostly because of the way that the eyes look, and the way that they've done the shading on the eyes and all that. It's also because it's relatively dark here in the character creation screen. But yeah, you can change the eye color. Let's go with something lighter, like that one. And then hairstyles. This is obviously where we've seen the most growth. There is quite a lot more to choose from here now. And while we had these two in the initial selection that we had for the demo, and we had this one over here, they've added a few interesting new ones that are, in my opinion, a good fit for this game. This one's quite long down the back over here. I like it a lot. I like this. That's sort of like dreads, basically, or braids. Kind of nice. And then we have this one with the ponytail on the back, or the bald head. Not a massive selection, but it's a good start. Humble beginnings. I particularly like the ones with more body. Now, you will notice that there are quite a few options for colors here, which is surprising. Now, most of the hairstyles do not actually have choices to be made. The only one currently that we have is for the one with the band over here, and that's mostly just because you are changing the band and also the little doodles that are hanging in the hair over here. So it's not really the hair that's getting primary, secondary, tertiary colors. It's just the band, which is good, because it allows you to accessorize, and it also shows, I want to say, the power of their outfit system, which you can probably find in the game now. It used to be here, but they had a pretty decent system where you could change the colors on the outfits, and it was pretty nice. But for the hair colors over here, there is a nice selection. I I want to say it's a little deceiving, the white one over here being the grey one over here. It does look a little lighter when you actually step out into the sun. I just want to point that out. So the colors that you get here, they all look a little bit brighter when you actually go outside with your character, when you're out of this menu right here, which is not a bad thing, but it's also not actually all that good a thing, because it could give you the wrong idea when you're making your character. But there's a nice selection here regardless. I like it. I'm going to take the black one now so that I can show you the secondary and the tertiary colors. For these specifically, you are changing the band over there. I really like the red on the band because it's nice and bright. And then for tertiary, as you can see, you change in that little piece over there. I said it's like a doodle or whatever. It's more like a big bead, basically. Yeah, I kind of like that red as well. So you can sort of accessorize a little bit here, and that's nice, right? I think that's nice. Then, when you've picked what you like, which is, for me, actually this one. I like this one. Then you can do facial hair as well. Not a massive selection for the beards. We've just got the one at the moment. You can change the color of it. And, I mean, it does look good. The bottom line here, I think, for pretty much the entirety of the style that they're going for is simple and satisfying. That's what they've done. It's okay. Yeah. It would obviously be nice to have a few more facial hairstyles. I'll say that. Eyebrows. We have 3 different choices, and they're fine. Yeah, they look good. I mean, I like the way that they've done the eyebrows, that it's not just a texture plopped on there. They've actually got some body to them, as you can see over there, and that's cool. No complaints from me about that. Our next step is the tattoo menu. This is probably the most comprehensive section of the character creation. So first you have the face tattoos, then the body tattoos. The options on both of them are the same. You've got the color and you've got the opacity. I'm going to set the color and the opacity so you can see what they look like. Let's make it something slightly more visible. Let's do the red there so it doesn't blend in with the hair. But that's pretty cool. Nice markings. I like the style of the markings here. I personally think that they're pretty cool in that they don't really look familiar. You know, it's something new, it's something unique to this game. Let me just take the hair off quickly so you can see what this looks like. There you go. So yeah, I mean, for the markings, I'm a fan. I think they look quite nice. They each have sort of a decent amount of coverage on them, and you can do some very interesting stuff, especially when you fiddle around a bit with the colors. And you'll see that when we randomize, after we've done the creation itself here, that messing around with the different colors of the tattoos can really mix things up with your character. And then the opacity does what you expect it to do. For the body tattoos, you will find some that match the ones that are in the face tattoos. So it's pretty cool. It's nice like that. And it's funny because we just looked at a similar thing in Dune Awakening. You can sort of pick the ones that go together, and you can make some pretty cool effects. I really actually kind of like this one. Especially if you do some interesting stuff with the colors here. You know? But there you go. Pretty cool. It's a good selection. That's it. Now, with that said and done, we are actually at the end. We can click create character, jump into the game, but first I'm going to randomize, show you what you could possibly get. And I want you to pay attention to how colorful these characters look. It's mostly the markings, you know, and sometimes the hair, but they give you some pretty cool looking options. And I feel perhaps what could be missing is just a little bit more variety in terms of the hair, the facial hair, and all the rest. Maybe it would be cool, as I've also mentioned, to have a little bit more for the bodies. But honestly, yeah, I mean, it's a good start. This is a pretty good start. I want to say, you know, people might say something about perhaps wanting slightly lighter skin tones, but I also understand if this is just what the characters in this world look like. I get that, you know? You are living in an ocean world. You're spending your whole day sailing the seas. Of course you're going to have a tan, you know? It would be kind of silly if you were pasty white. But yeah, overall, not bad. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually turn all of this off, because you will notice that it is in fact shared. So we'll turn this off, and the hairstyle is now off, and we're going to go back to the body options. We're going to pick the female body. Now I'm just going to run through here quickly with a female. options to show you what a female character could potentially look like. The male side of things, yeah, man, it's looking pretty good. Definitely looking better than it did before. Our first set of options, the faces. This is obviously the one thing that's unique between the male and female presets. The other options are all the same, but for the faces, you get a different face for each of the presets. And, you know, that's pretty cool. The faces bring with them skin tones, their very own skin tones. You'll notice the first face has some sort of middling skin tones with one that's a bit darker. The middle face has some lighter skin tones with, once again, one that's a bit darker. And the final one has darker skin tones with one that's a bit lighter. So you pick what you want here, you pick what works for you here, and then you jump in. I'll take this lady right here, and we're going to jump onto the eye color. I mentioned on the male side that I didn't really like the way that the eye color applied because you could barely see it on the character. It's less so on the female, but only slightly less. It's still very difficult to see what color the eye is. It's not a big deal though. It's fine. There we go. Those are the eye options. Now, probably one of the most important parts, the hair. It usually makes or breaks your look. There's not a huge amount of styles. You don't get to change multiple colors on each of these. There's no highlights or anything like that. There's one or two new styles. The only one that has customization on the hair itself is this one over here, where you get to change the hair color, which we'll get into just now, but then you also get to change the secondary color on the band. I'm not sure why it's not changing right now, but there we go. Okay, so this is the band. That's it. That could potentially be a bug, because on the male side of things, tertiary was the little bead and secondary was the band. It's unimportant. The fact remains you can customize it. Then we have this style over here, which is, if I'm not mistaken, a new one. Nice long style, decent physics on there. We've got these. I kind of like this. I think it's a good fit for this style of game. That's my opinion on this. And then we got the middle long one. They seem to really like this style in Voyagers of Nera, which is not a bad thing. I like this style as well. I think it's pretty cool. But we could definitely do with more hairstyles, like 100%. So for this, we'll take the longer hair, and then I'll show you the different colors. I have sort of confirmed that most of these colors do look a little brighter when you actually jump into the game. So just keep that in mind. Moving on to the facial hair. I'm not entirely sure why you can't put the facial hair on the ladies, because the option is here, and as you can see, you can sort of select it, but it just doesn't apply. Maybe the sort of beard mesh just wasn't made for the face of the female cat. I don't know, okay? But they tease us with this, and it's a bit of a pity. Right? Just because. I don't know. Just because. You can do eyebrows, however, and that's at least something. I like the eyebrows in this game. They are full-bodied eyebrows. They're cool. Yeah. And, you know, they have a little bit of sort of a bump to them. They're not flat against the skin of your character. I dig it. Yeah, and you can change the color of the eyebrows separately if you so desire. I don't know why you would do that. I kind of like them dark with this hair, so we'll do that. And yeah, with that done, we can move on to the tattoos. So I guess there is actually a bit of a difference between male and female with the fact that you can't put the facial hair on. Technically, then, the males have more options than the females. But tattoos. Face tattoos, I'm going to set the opacity to max quickly. They are pretty cool. Let's check the black ones out. I'm going to take the hair off for a moment so you can just see what the tattoos look like. There are matching tattoos for the body. So you will see these ones here. And then you will see body tattoos that just sort of slot in, you know? They work together with them. So if we go onto the body tattoos and we set this up here, you've got these that match. And then obviously this one and that one. There you go. And this one plus this one. Pretty cool. And finally that and that. I like them. I mean, this is... yeah, it's the strongest point. This is the one thing that I think really stands out, especially considering the nice colors that you can mix with here. Like, you can sort of throw any color you want on here, and this really does apply quite nicely. The colors look really good, you know? So, yeah, I'm a fan. You can change the opacity over here as well. And that does bring us to the end of the customization. I'm going to randomize now, show you what you can get. I'm quite a fan of how much variety there is in terms of color. There are really some pretty nice options that you can have here. One nice thing that stands out to me about this character creation system is that the markings and the tattoos, they pop nicely, even on the darker skin. They really do look vibrant. Like whatever dye they used for this, whatever type of ink it is, it's a good one, and they should share that with the guys in Arrakis, because Dune Awakening's tattoos, while they are quite cool, they're nowhere near as exciting as these in terms of the colors. So it's very nice. I especially like how the contrast looks with the dark skin and the lighter tattoos, or the light skin and the darker tattoos. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But there you go. That is that. As I mentioned, there's obviously a bunch of other stuff that you could potentially see in the game itself, but here in the outro I will just say once again that I love this art style. It's simple and it's satisfying. It's sort of similar to Sea of Thieves. It's like colorful, vibrant, and fun. There's not a huge amount of options here right now, and the loss of the clothing section here obviously just exasperates that. It was temporary in the demo that we could access all of that, and I understand that more than likely you can now find a bunch of cool cosmetic stuff in the game, and that's excellent. It's a reason to play the game. And then along with that, this is just early access, so they can keep adding over time, and eventually I'm sure we'll be golden. The presentation on the whole is just a whole lot better than it was, which is awesome. And I think that if they keep working on this, and if they add a little bit more, we're going to be good to go. So yeah, I had fun checking this out. I'd love to hear what you guys think if you've jumped in to give it a try. Voyagers of Nera. You can, as always, like I said, find some links below. You can do a little exploring and see if it's for you. While you're down there, you can give this video a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, as I've mentioned at the start of the video, you can find my links down there too. My coffee page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest. So, until next time, dudes, happy creating those characters, and enjoy Voyagers of Nera. Happy that.